because their hero will be in the net, John Davidson. All right, the goalies tonight, Billy Smith in net for the Islanders, and his record 2.53 goals against. And it will be John Davidson in goal for the Rangers. He'll have no stats because he hasn't been in net since the 14th of October this year, the only game he's been in net. Bruce Hood is our referee tonight. Ron Finn. There's Bruce Hood, the referee. Ron Finn and Randy Mitten are the linesmen for tonight's game. And Gary Green, last night in Los Angeles, we saw some outstanding officiating and typical Stanley Cup fashion, and of course they're going to be called on for that kind of officiating tonight because this is a very important game for both of these hockey teams. We're underway at Madison Square Garden, and of course this is a big rivalry. The Rangers and the Islanders prevailing in overtime last night to defeat the Rangers and take a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 championship series in the Stanley Cup divisional play. Turned aside, John Davidson making his first save, and it was an easy one, Gary, since being out since October. Davidson has had one game in net since November 22nd of 1980. And that, by the way, was against these same New York Islanders, a game that he lost. He had knee surgery, missed the rest of the 80-81 season. This year it's been back problems predominantly, and he's missed most of this one. Off the side of the post. Good shot opportunity by the Rangers. Another one from the post. The scramble in front. Pope checked all the way back out of the zone. And the Rangers beginning to put heat on the Islanders here. You got to believe the Rangers came ready for this one tonight because they really had to sting from losing that one in overtime. And if you wanted to know how badly they wanted this one, they've gone to Davidson in goal tonight looking for anything that would really hype up this hockey team. Puck stays alive in the Islander zone as Polk checked away, and the Islanders will bring it up to set up the play. Bringing it up and bringing it in, getting hip check for his effort, Tom Laidlaw, and the Rangers bring it right back out. Controlling the puck, the Rangers bringing it out, it is Patoric. His skating is one of his trademarks. Islanders, each team right now just feeding each other out, center ice. Both teams now in the line change. 18:05 remaining. We're in period number 1. Wrist shot from the point, and the shot wide by Nystrom all the way to the point. Brought back out by the Rangers. Rangers will bring it up, a partial change on the play. And it's Rogers who can't bring it in. It's kept and saved at the point. It was cleared around the boards by Andre Doré. Doré behind the goal, ripping for the puck, but it comes to the point, clears the center rink. Rangers still own it. Controlled by Lainanen. He'll bring it up and in. Mikko Lainanen moves around the check of Janssen all the way to the corner. The hitting beginning to pick up on the boards in the corners. Stanley Cup hockey, the Rangers and the Islanders. Nystrom is spun around and gives a stick for the effort. Morrow from center ice rides it in, and Davidson turns it out. As he makes more saves tonight, you're going to know this crowd is going to come alive. They really like John Davidson at the Garden in New York. Puck stolen in the corner. Tonelli digging for it, taken away instead by Lainanen, and he'll bring it out. Left wing lead, Rogers, Mike Rogers, formerly of Hartford. He's been a real asset to the Rangers, and he rides one in for Billy Smith to turn aside, goes off in a line change. Gord Lane pulls it around the board to the point for the Islanders. Puck clears the center rink. They bring it up and in. Islanders go down deep for the shot. Save for the point blanking. Davidson, great play as he was ridden in deep, and a great shot opportunity by Trottier, who won it in overtime last night. Here come the Rangers, and the centering pass is spun away as Duguay was in the slot, but he couldn't get his stick down. Gord Lane owns the puck. He's for the Islanders, moves it across. They'll bring it out of their own zone. Left to right as we watch. Gord Lane pumps it in all the way to the corner, and is played by Davidson around.
You're watching the official network of the National Hockey League USA, the Patrick Division Finals, Game 4, and the score after one period, 1-1 between the Islanders and Rangers. Joining me now, Gary Green, here in our USA Network studio. Last night, Gary predicted some of the trophy winners in the NHL. He predicted that the Hart MVP would be Wayne Gretzky, that the Calder Rookie of the Year would be Dale Hawerchuk, that the Lady Byng sportsmanship and dedication to hockey would be Wayne Gretzky, and that the Norris Trophy for best defenseman would be Doug Wilson of the Chicago Blackhawks. Tonight, Gary, we're going to put you on the line again. First, the Selke Award, which is for the best defensive forward in the league. Who do you think?
Well, you know, Bob Gainey's won this award every single year that the trophy has been given practically, so I think that this year, though, that there should be a surprise, and that should be that Craig Ramsey from the Buffalo Sabres, just a fine, excellent defensive forward. I think he deserves the trophy. He was second last year. He almost got it, close but no cigar. I think he'll get it this year.
The Selke Award, rather the Jack Adams Trophy, is for the best coach of the year. Now, you think it belongs to a man up north.
Well, both Don Cherry and I, we aren't coaching anymore, so we can't get it, that's for sure. But Tom Watt from Winnipeg just did an excellent job this year with that Winnipeg team, the biggest improvement ever in the National Hockey League, and so certainly coaches have got to get that credit. Tom Watt is certainly a very deserving winner of that. He's an excellent coach. He's coached for a lot of years, not in the National Hockey League, but in college hockey. He's coached in international hockey, and he's done a fine job with his team this year.
Now, the Masterton Trophy is very similar to the Lady Byng. It's for dedication, perseverance, and contributions to hockey. Who do you feel is deserving of that award?
Well, you know, of all awards, that's probably the most difficult one to really assess, because there's so many guys that are dedicated in the league. But I really think a guy, and I don't know whether he's going to win it or not, but if I was giving the award, I'd give it to Doug Jarvis from the Montreal Canadiens. He's one of the most dedicated players that I know of in the National Hockey League. He really takes part as well as outside the game of hockey as far as his dedication goes, as far as putting something back into hockey and outside. With the young kids, with social groups, he really is a 24-hour hockey guy all year long, and I really think he's done a lot for the game.
The Vezina Trophy this year, there's been a change. The William Jennings Award will take the place of what the Vezina stood for in the past. That is the top goaltending team in the National Hockey League. The Vezina now is voted upon by the general managers for the goaltender who's made the most contribution to his team. And here is where some skeptics might want a little piece of you. Who do you think?
Well, this award, you know, is voted by the general managers, and it's based on an 80-game season. And quit kicking me, Al, because I know you don't like my selection for this one. Well, I've given it to Grant Fuhr, the young first-year goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers. They had a fantastic year, and the reason I gave it to him, because not only was he right up there as far as percentages with the best, with the Walmsleys that you might expect to get it from the Montreal Canadiens, but this guy, he's playing on an offensive-minded hockey club, not a defensive-minded hockey club, and so really, with all their great goal scorers, they don't do an awful lot of back-checking. It's the forechecking that they do. So I've given it to Grant Fuhr, and I know he's a first-year guy, but I just think he's very deserving of that award. And put aside the playoffs, because it's only on an 80-game basis. I don't know. I'm not a general manager. They're the ones that are voting, but my vote would go to Grant Fuhr.
Well, Gary, if you do well on these selections, we'll go to the track after the season is over. Now, let me ask you quickly about John Davidson. He's the story of this game. Hasn't played since October 14th. What were your impressions of the way he handled the posts?
Well, he's going to be the story of this game one way or another, because of the decision by Herb Brooks to play him. If it's a good decision and they win the hockey game, then certainly John Davidson will be the hero. If not, I'm afraid that he's going to take a lot of the criticism. But I thought that he played well, considering the fact he hasn't, as we've said many times tonight, hasn't played since October the 14th. I thought he really looked fairly sharp in there, and he was tested a fair number of times. You couldn't blame him on that goal that was scored. When you leave Bossy alone for rebounds, you can't expect it to be the goaltender's responsibility. I don't know. So far, I think it's been a pretty good move. Let's face it, Eddie Mayo couldn't play because he's injured, and I guess that Herbie Brooks wasn't really too happy with the play of Steve Weeks.
Okay, Gary Green. Meanwhile, Dick Carlson is standing by because the third period is coming up. 1-1 is the score after the first period. We'll be back for the start of the second period on the USA Cable Network after this.
The forecast is for more snow and hazardous driving conditions. Watch out for slippery going.
We'll make it, Sarge.
When people are counting on you to come through, it's nice to have a Toyota Corolla Tercel pulling for you. The 1982 front-wheel drive Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car. The Toyota Tercel, a car that pulls its own weight. And a little bit more. Tercel!
Larry Bird and Dr. J are playoff bound. You can be too with NBA Today. And now, for a limited time only, you can subscribe for a special introductory rate of $9.95, 1/3 off the newsstand price. Get the next 10 exciting issues of NBA Today, including playoff issues, pre- and post-NBA draft issues, and a special preseason outlook issue, a must for every NBA fan. NBA Today is packed with features on your favorite NBA stars, as well as regular columns by well-known basketball experts, action photos, and complete statistics. To receive your 10 issues, send $9.95 to NBA Today, 663 5th Avenue, New York, New York 10022. Or to order now, call toll-free 1-800-528-6050. That's 1-800-528-6050. Don't miss any of the action from tip-off to playoff. Subscribe to NBA Today. Today.
At Madison Square Garden in New York, after one period of play, it's the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers tied at 1. An outstanding first period of hockey in a 1-1 tie. The scoring, well, Rossi opened things up. His 6th goal at 10:21 from Gillian Trottier. 1-0 Islanders, 10:21. But Ron Duguay netted his 5th of the playoff from Pavlik and from McClanahan at 13:38. And that's the hockey game right now. A 1-1 tie at the end of one period of play. The Rangers, who have given all kinds of surprises here tonight, principally starting John Davidson in goal, and he has played well in the first period of play. 10-9 shots on goal. Davidson making 8 saves in period number 1. He had only 7 games in net, playing down at the American Hockey League, getting himself actually tuned physically to be ready, and then in a surprise move today, Herb Brooks put him in net. He's produced, and it's a 1-1 tie after 1. We're ready for second period hockey. Patrick Division Finals in the Stanley Cup, Madison Square Garden, New York. Trottier and Duguay get ready for the face-off to open period number 2, and it's owned by Potvin of the Islanders. Move it on the boards, and we'll see now if we can pick out what was discussed during the intermission. Barry Beck, checked by Bossy, who apparently is all right after suffering from an injury in period 1. Duguay for the Rangers hits the lead man. Brought up and in. The drop pass down to Pavlik in the corner, and his centering pass is broken up. Islanders leading it right back out. Rangers loose puck center ice. Duguay plays it off again to Barry Beck. Moves it over on the wing. Rutsalainen back out to center rink. Duguay goes after it, lets it play off the boards. Kenny Morrow there for the Islanders, number 6. And he brings it up and in. Fans it on the boards in the corner. Beck takes him off the play and goes down. He's on the puck and will face it off in the Rangers zone. Just underway, second period. Barry Beck, captain of the New York Rangers. Acquired, you may recall, a year ago from the Colorado Rockies in the NHL. Highly publicized trade and a good one for the New York Rangers without question. Not only did they get a superb defenseman, but they got a captain. Face-off will be to the left of John Davidson in the Ranger zone. Butch Goring is in for the face-off. He'll be on the draw against Gary Burns, the youngster who played so well here tonight for the Rangers in only his second playoff game. Dory moves it on the wing. Connor leads it out. It's shoveled backhand into the Islanders zone. Whacked around the boards past Connor. By the point, here comes Goring. He's brought down from behind by Burns. That'll be a penalty. Leads it out. Oh, they say it didn't come over the blue line, and so the Islanders keep it alive. Centering pass all the way to Merrick in the corner. Drops it to Nystrom. He's checked off the play. Now the Rangers can break out. It's 2-on-2. They'll have to hurry. Laidlaw over the right point. Looks for help. Tries to center, and he can't get the pass in the slot. The Islanders have a chance to bring it right back. Nystrom pulls it back. Potiu got nailed as he came out trying to put a check on Nystrom. Watch it now. Potiu came across looking for the number on the truck. Centering pass from the corner all the way to the point. Morrow for his shot. Loose in front. Saved by Davidson on the rebound. Merrick in the corner. He puts on the heat. Tries to center. It's behind the goal. The scramble is on. Puck is loose. Penalty coming up on Dory, I believe, of the Rangers. He took a man down. It'll be holding on Andre Dory. And so it'll be a power play again for the Islanders. 8:06 remaining in the second period in a 2-2 tie. For our local affiliates, we'll pause now. You're watching Stanley Cup playoff hockey on the USA Network.
Everyone remembers the 1980 U.S. Olympic gold medal winning hockey team. At that time, Herb Brooks was the coach of that team and Craig Patrick was the assistant. Well, today the roles are slightly reversed. Craig Patrick is the general manager and Herb Brooks is the coach, so you could say that Craig Patrick is the boss. Well, I'm going to ask Craig Patrick how that relationship has changed over the years and what their relationship is now. In addition to that, we'll take another look at USA's In Profile series. All that coming up at the end of the second period, so stay tuned.
Andre Dory off for holding.
Well, we're going to see exactly why Andre Dory's off for holding. Is there any question on this one? John Tonelli put right up against the net, held. There's the puck laying over along the side of the boards.
And the Islanders 0 for 2 on the power play tonight have another man advantage in a 2-2 tie. And the Rangers do a nice job. Robbie Patora controlling it to get it out of the zone. Islanders back at their own line to set it up. Dennis Potvin moves it across. 2-2 tie, second period. Time with a penalty is 11:54, second period. Now the Islanders can't get out of their own zone. Duguay back, puts on a good check behind the Islander net. He comes over to put on some more heat. Bob Bourne will bring it out. Right wing, Tonelli shoots it in, rides the boards all the way to the near side. Van Ney moves it up to Duguay, double team. They try to get it out of their own zone. Trottier keeping it in. Again, the scramble on the boards. Then the Rangers prevail. They get it out of their own zone. The crowd shows its approval. A full house here tonight, Madison Square Garden. Right now, the Islanders having trouble on the power play. They're offside at the Ranger blue line.
Here we see Mike Bossy, Dick. You know, I think this guy's hurting a little bit. He had a little nagging injury in that Pittsburgh series, and I think it really kept him from playing his best. You know, I think there's nothing more right now that they would like to do than win this game and try and wrap it up on Wednesday night. Here we see the score. Quebec 5, Boston 1 in the second.
Crowder picking up the goal for Boston. That breaks the shutout for Quebec. I'm not sure that they're counting their shutouts now. They just want to win the game. Potvin for the Islanders in the power play. Looks for the charging Bob Bourne. Muscled by Laidlaw all the way to the corner and put on the boards hard. Checking there by Trottier, and they've blown the whistle on the play, freezing the puck on the boards for a face-off. You know, an oddity on that Quebec-Boston series, during the season, Quebec won all 3 games at Boston. Boston won all 3 games at Quebec. Now in the playoffs, Boston has won twice at home. Quebec on the verge of trying to do the same.
Well, certainly that series has been very unpredictable during the course of the season, and I guess we really shouldn't have expected it to change during the course of the season.
Rangers have outshot the Islanders 5-4 here in the second period. Bossy pumps it around. Trottier back to Bossy, back to Trottier. He tries to center, does score! He had Gillies wide open in front. They move that around to perfection. Bossy to Trottier, Bossy to Trottier, to Gillies in front of the net before Davidson could move. It was in the net behind him. 3-2 on the power play goal.
Well, Dick, these 3 guys have played together for a long time, and is it any wonder that they know where each other are at all times? Right off that face-off, Trottier knows where that puck's going. He slides her back to Bossy, and again, behind the net play, these guys do so well. If it isn't Bossy in front of the net, it's Gillies in front of the net, and Gillies wastes no time at putting it home. We're going to see from a different angle, again, that pass to Bossy, but again, he knows that Trottier is going to be heading right for that net, and as soon as that happens, you know, the Ranger defense should know. They've seen the Islanders play enough. They played them enough to know that that's a dangerous situation. When either Trottier or Bossy are behind that net area, they've got to cover that slot area. You see John Davidson leaving the game.
Davidson may be hurting. Remember, he had the leg problems, he's had the back problems, and Davidson heading for the dressing room. So it's 3-2 in favor of the Islanders. We'll have more in a moment. The official network of the National Hockey League is bringing you live hockey from New York City. More in a moment.
With police clearing the racecourse, Dan Gurney and his Toyota Supra challenge the streets of Long Beach, home of the Toyota Grand Prix.
It takes the right stuff to take on a challenge like this.
Dan is heading for the Queen Mary. The race circuit tests Supra's twin-cam 6-cylinder power. Tight turns test Supra's independent suspension. And changing surfaces challenge Supra's integrity. It takes the right stuff to be Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year.
That's the right stuff.
Oh, what a feeling.
Supra.
Toyota.
Steve Weeks taking some practice shots with Davidson leaving due to injury. Davidson leaves 13:08 into the second period. He faced 14 shots and had 11 saves. And so the experiment by this man, Herb Brooks, may not have paid off the way he would have expected. Apparently, Davidson has hurt something in the back of his knee. We don't know if it's the same knee that experienced surgery 2 years ago, but Davidson went a little more than 1.5 periods of this hockey game, and he leaves after the goal by Gillies, his 5th of the playoff from Trottier and Bossy. Trottier with 3 assists. He's assisted on all of the Islanders' goals tonight. Bossy with 2 assists and a goal. So that line has been brilliant, and Gillies has his 5th in this playoff. It's 3-2 Islanders.
We're going to get an opportunity here to see maybe what happened here. We see Davidson in the net. Now watch just how he spreads those legs apart. You know, he went totally into the split. Maybe he's just twisted that right knee just a little bit too far, hyperextended it. It certainly looks like that's probably what has happened.
Well, Davidson, who had knee surgery, you'll recall, 2 years ago, that kept him out for the entire season. As a matter of fact, he had that surgery shortly after he faced the Islanders November 22nd of 1980. Missed the rest of that season. Then it was October the 24th of this year that he was back in the nets. He beat Vancouver of this season, October of 81. He beat Vancouver 2-1, but it was the back problems that kept him out for the duration. He played 7 games in the American Hockey League to get in shape, was tabbed for net duty tonight, went 13:08 into the second period before he had to be removed for another injury apparently to his knee. And young Steve Weeks, the backup goalie for tonight's game, is in the net with the Rangers trailing 3-2. Islanders cleared out the length of the rink, and they'll play it back in their own zone. The Rangers with Vadnais, and there's the whistle for the icing call, and they'll bring it back for a face-off in the Islander zone. Weeks played earlier in the playoff when he replaced Mio after an injury. Mio did not draw backup duty tonight due to a back injury of his own.
Here we see Carl Vadnais. You know, this guy has played more National Hockey League games than any other active defenseman presently. He's seen a lot of hockey games through his course of the year, but you know, Herb Brooks continues to use him because he's got that experience and he's a good team man, and I think he's really helped some of these young rookies, like a guy like Laidlaw, especially Rostalainen. Nothing like experience.
Allison is in for the face-off against Trottier. Into the slot, Rogers tries for it, it's wide. Allison takes Morrow to the backboards, Trottier to the boards, and he's taken off of the puck. Morrow goes back in it with Allison again. And it scoots along to Rogers behind the goal, centering pass, jumps all the way out to the point. That can't keep it in. Dave Maloney, center ice, moves it over to Vadnais. He can't get it. Gillies for the shot right into Vadnais, who went down to make the play. He doubles up and will face off in the Ranger zone, and that play right there shows the experience of Vadnais in the years in the league, because that is old-time hockey, that defenseman going down on it.
Well, Dick, you see right here, he knew he made a mistake. He gave the puck right to Clark Gillies, but he went down right away knowing that Clark Gillies would try to come up with that big shot and catch Weeks off guard. They're going to want to try and get as many shots on Weeks right now as possible. When a goaltender comes in halfway through a game, he's probably cold. They're going to probably try and shoot from every area possible.
Word on Davidson from the Rangers dressing room, a possible hamstring pull. Duguay on the face-off with Sutter, taken by the veteran Vadnais. Leads it out, broken up by Gillies, waits for teammates to clear. From the point, Merrick for a shot that is wide. You're right, because they're shooting it from anywhere in the building right now. Rangers lead it out. Duguay looks up the middle. Brought in McClanahan, cuts to the left, puts on the brakes, looks for the play from the point. Takes the shot. Batted out by Smith. He leads it out at the slot. He got a rebound opportunity. Here come the Islanders. Onto the wing. It's taken by Sutter. He has some pressure. Drops it behind the goal. Dave Maloney is there. Looks for help. Duguay to play it. Duguay is the kind of player, when he gets his stick on the puck, you know excitement is beginning to generate. The fans just want to see him get the puck. Islanders take it away, bring it out. Now they've got a potential 3-on-1. McClanahan racing to come back. Centering pass by Tonelli gets all the way through the slot to the corner with Sutter charging, and the Rangers can return the favor if they hurry. They had a chance to come back 3-on-3 and couldn't get it done. They dump it in. Rangers changing on the fly. 5:17 to go, second period. Islanders on top, 3-2. They dump it in from center rink, and that'll be an icing call. They'll bring it back for a face-off in the Islanders zone. 3-2 Islanders lead, and in the shot on goal department, it's a 16-14 edge that belongs to the Rangers.
Is this guy well liked in this city? Boy, I tell you, after he went to Hartford, these fans, they wanted him back again. So Nicky Fotiu back in New York, and is he ever happy? He is. You notice after the pregame warm-ups, he's out there throwing those pucks up to his fans.
Something else about him too, Gary, and that is that for years he was regarded as an enforcer, any of the other ugly words attached to that kind of a player. When he came back to the Rangers, he made up his mind he was going to really try to play hockey and contribute as a player and not be known only for his physical ability. Loose puck in the slot for Tio. Skated right by it. Goring gets it, leads it out. Nystrom from center rink rides it in wide of goal. Well, they're going to put it on him from anywhere. If they can get it to one of the scouts up in the press box, they may shoot it from there. Weeks is being tested. Islanders trying to clear and can't. Kept in by Dorian, who was in the penalty box for the power play goal. Burns, double team, takes the man off. Smith behind the goal for the Islanders. Check missed. Burns trying to put his man down behind the goal. McEwen. This is Burns trying to center and can't. Here come the Islanders again. McEwen brings it up, cuts to the point, looks for help, drops to Nystrom. Nystrom is checked off from behind and could never get the shot away. Good defensive play by the Rangers. Fotiu at the red line, spins, waits, drops it off. It's brought in, then offside. Burns was in too soon. Will face off outside the Islander blue line.
Well, Dick, that's a problem sometimes when you're trying to play that possession game. We see Cam Connors here just recently brought up from the farm system, but Nicky Fotiu, knowing Herb's style, wasn't going to dump and chase. He was trying to hang on to the puck, and as a result, kind of three of them bumped into each other at that blue line, and when that happens, you're better off dumping and chasing and going after it.
Islanders control, back in their own end. Janssen gets it back from Gillies, goes back to Gillies in the corner, challenged by Eddie Johnstone. Over to the corner. Rangers get it back, centering pass, loose puck right in front, and Morrow was right there playing his position beautifully. The center ice Allerson for the Rangers, looks for help, gives it away. Morrow for the Islanders. Brings it across, and Janssen leads it up, gets it back. Looks for help on a breaking side, and it's offside. Bring it out for a draw to the neutral zone. 3:44 left to go in the second period of play.
Dick, you know, I had mentioned just before the game had started the fact that I don't think the Islanders are really serious yet, and I don't mean that they don't want to win. I just think Al Arbour's been a little frustrated with their inconsistent play up to this point in playoffs. I think he'd really like to see them bearing down.
Islanders own the puck as we approach the end of period number 2. Morrow puts it in off the leg of the linesman, played in the corner by Vadnais. Vatorek goes in there. He'll be our guest on the feature in period number 2. It'll be our in-profile feature in the second intermission. Robbie Vatorek. Morrow near the point. Pulls it behind the goal, played there by the Rangers. Maloney pumps it up the wing. Johnstone couldn't get it. Dumped right back in by Gillies. 3:10 to go, period number 2. Rangers in their own end. Johnstone skates it out. Rips it in from the red line off the back glass. Rangers change on the fly. We've got a whistle, and it looks like some activity near the blue line. Some stick slinging going on. Penalties had already been indicated by Bruce Hood. Caller and Maloney. Caller for the Islanders. Maloney for the Rangers. Don Maloney. And now Janssen and Johnstone, and another fight going. That's Janssen and Johnstone at the blue line. So after they stop one, there's one more. Eddie Johnstone. Thomas Janssen. The linesman trying to go in. This was no time to step in, and Johnstone is dishing it out pretty good. He's got Janssen down, and there's the cue for the linesman. So two fights erupted here with 2:58 to go in period number 2. As the tempers begin to heat up in this rivalry between the Rangers and the Islanders.
Well, you know, Dick, Eddie Johnstone he's a tough little nut for the size of him. He can scrap with the best of them, but Thomas Johnston isn't really a player that is going to be involved in too many fights during the course of the year. But really, the initial fight, as we're going to see here, is between these two guys, Maloney and Kaloran. And look, you think that, I don't know which one's shadowing which one, but Caller turns around and takes one incredible swipe at Maloney, and really you can't blame Maloney too much from coming back and saying to him, hey, Mr. Caller, don't try that one again.
Caller had already been called for the penalty because Bruce Hood indicated the penalty. He saw that slash, and then, of course, they went at each other, which meant that Maloney was going to spend some time in the penalty box as well. The question is, how lopsided will the assessment of the penalty minutes be? And, of course, Johnstone and Janssen go at it. They've already been shown to the dressing room. Allison is in the penalty box. They're going to have to serve penalties for some of these players who have been shown the dressing room for the duration of the second period. So get out your pocket calculators, and we're going to figure out what's going to happen. This all comes at 17 minutes and 2 seconds into the second period. As an aside, just to bring you up to date on news from the dressing room, where several Ranger players are headed, as well as several members of the Islanders. In the Ranger dressing room, Eddie Mio is getting the pads on, despite the fact that he is slightly injured and was not dressed for the backup role in the net tonight. With the injury to Davidson and Weeks in goal, Mio will appear on the bench in the third period. There's Anders Kaller, guilty of a high stick and stick swinging incident with Maloney. There's Maloney, number 12.
He's been in that box before tonight, Dick.
I think they're finally getting it all straightened out. We're going to have to wait for the final assessment as to how they're going to hand out these penalties, who gets what and when.
Dick, an interesting point, I think, to the fans is that Eddie Mio, as you indicated, is starting to dress now, irregardless of the fact that he was listed as injured before the game. The question has arisen many times before is if the next goaltender gets hurt, in Steve Weeks' case, if Steve Weeks was to get hurt, who would end up going in net if you couldn't dress that third goaltender?
Well, I understand that the Rangers have been inquired into your availability.
I can't stop pucks, that's for sure. I can't score goals and I can't stop pucks. But they did make that rule change this year so that a third goaltender in the stands could come out of the game, because otherwise you were forced to have to put a defenseman possibly in the net. And I don't know any defensemen, too many defensemen in the National Hockey League that want to go in and stop pucks.
I was going to say that would be very exciting for the fans, but not too exciting for that defenseman.
Well, it almost happened to me one night in Montreal, whereby we had both goaltenders hurt. Pat Ribble was going to have to be the designated guy.